This video is designed to show the average small business owner who may not be a technical guru 5 easy to follow tips to harness the incredible power of
hub and spoke retail model
to drive large amounts of targeted, convertible traffic to your small business website. You do not need to have a degree in information systems. You don't need to be an SEO guru.
So stay tuned.
Use a hub and spoke retail model. What people do not realize is that retail shopping is not going through a paradigm shift. The paradigm shift has already happened. What folks are missing is that retail shopping has changed forever. The old brick and mortar behemoths are obsolete. Yes, some will transform, such as the Walmarts and the Best Buys, to compete with the Amazons, but you'll continue to see massive layoffs and store closures as the market realigns to this new paradigm or way of thinking. To compete now, an online presence is a must, and those that do not adapt will take their place in history. With this new paradigm in mind, you must remember, you are not just selling a product, you're selling a service, you're selling yourself and your brand. And above all else, you want to protect your brand and your marketing channels from what I call social fluctuations. What I mean by these social fluctuations and protecting your brand is that you do not want your retail store to reside on a platform that you do not control. You want to be able to leverage multiple sales channels and multiple social channels at the same time from a hub that is branded and a hub that you own. This is why a hub and spoke retail model is critical to your long-term, sustainable, competitive advantage.
That brings us to tip number 2, create a long-term, sustainable, competitive advantage.
If you do not want to be at the mercy of any one social network or search algorithm, you want to create and own your own domain and website. This gives you the ability to control your long-term strategic competitive advantage. Stick with us and we'll show you how to leverage Pinterest and a social hub to do this. To expand a bit on the concept of a hub and spoke model, what I mean when I say hub and spoke model is you have a branded website hosted on a registered domain that you own. This hub is your home base, your shelter from the storm. From this hub, you can weather the rise and fall of all the social media and social search sites. And mark me, they all eventually will topple. Think Yahoo, think MySpace. If you're looking to set up your personally branded and trusted hub, I recommend using Shopify for its ease of use and its well-integrated marketplace and its healthy application environment. There are other options you can look at to create this hub, such as WordPress and BigCommerce, but due to its partnership agreements with Pinterest, Amazon, and eBay, I recommend going with Shopify. You'll have an upcoming video that will look at the Shopify and how you can use Shopify to set up your e-commerce hub. So if you are interested in learning more about that, please hit our subscribe button below, as one of our upcoming videos that we're currently filming will deal with that topic. The hub then reaches out and leverages the spokes, which are comprised of social media and social search networks and marketplaces such as Pinterest, Amazon, Etsy, Google search, YouTube, etc.
That brings us to tip number 3, know your demographics.
Tip number 2, know your demographics. The next thing we'll look at in our hub and spoke model is how to define the spokes. I get it, when you're setting up your retail shop, taking time to understand how social networks can drive traffic to your site is sometimes an afterthought. With so many social platforms that are changing almost daily, it can be daunting. But we're all stronger than we know, and with a little bit of homework and research, you can get a long way. Remember, the big box stores are in rapid decline.
And this gives rise to tip number 4. The hubs are the shopping malls of today.
And what many people are not realizing is that these new hub and spoke models are the new high-end shopping malls of today. But which social channels should you focus on first?
This brings us to tip number 5. Define your target demographic and find your tribe.
This is where demographics come in. The first concept I'm going to cover under demographics goes back to an author named Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey had a concept that we want to leverage here, and the concept was taking time to sharpen the saw. And what Stephen meant by this was he gave a great example. I'm going to paraphrase roughly here, but he had a big project manager down in the jungles of Brazil, brings a large team together to clear a forest. He's doing a great job, or she's doing a great job. They pull in 12 construction companies, a bunch of guys and gals with saws. They're right on track, making great progress. As the day goes on, the project manager says, I'm going to climb up that tree on the edge of the clearing and see how much more work is left, to see how much we've accomplished. He starts climbing. He spends about 20 minutes, gets to the top of the tree, looks out at all the work his guys have done, and then all of a sudden he realizes he's in the wrong place. They're actually clearing the wrong location. They've done a lot of thrashing, a lot of lost work. And this is what Stephen's main point is, by taking the time to sharpen the saw, is you have to know your demographic. You have to understand what is your value add, what you're bringing to your customers, so that you can target the right people. So I've included the link to Stephen Covey's book down below. Highly Effective Habits. Read it, very helpful throughout my career. I reference it a couple of times a year for the last 20 years. Great book. Second concept you need to take into account with demographics is that you need to ensure that you understand who your target demographic is. A great book to help you do this is Boom, Bust, and Echo by David Foote. It's a great starting point to understanding how generational demographics how they affect everything. It's a great read and a good starting point for understanding how you can structure your site to target your ideal demographic. I highly recommend that you give it a read, and I've included a link in the comments section below so that you can read through this as time allows. To be successful in this new hub and spoke model I have just shown you, you need to define and understand your target demographic. Great brands understand their customers and the kind of content they crave and inspire. Understand who your target demographic is and build a trusted relationship with them. It's key to building your tribe. A great book that speaks to building this type of trusted tribe is Tribes by Seth Godin. This book transformed the way I have built my social network and should be a required reading. Should you want to fully unlock the power of your tribe, I have included a link to Seth's book below. Remember, a trusted tribe is key to success. If they trust you and want to come back, you have integrated them into your tribe. If you have inspired them into action or made them care, they will be valued and returning customers, allowing you to gain a strategic, long-term competitive advantage. In general, the different social networks align to different demographics. Facebook has the largest demographic coverage. It was the first mainstream social network. Pretty much everyone has a Facebook account, but it's becoming cluttered, and the younger generations are not using it as their primary social channel, but as a secondary channel to keep up with family and relatives for the most part. Whereas a network like Instagram is very visual and targeted towards a younger demographic, roughly males and females in the 18 to 35 age bracket, although other demographics do use Instagram and it's growing rapidly. And other social networks target different demographic groups. You need to learn these demographic trends and keep up with them to be a successful social marketer. Looking at Pinterest, the Pinterest demographic in the past has shown to favor females in the 25 to 46 year age bracket. This was the case a few years ago, and although the age range has not shifted largely, we are seeing a larger amount of males beginning to use the Pinterest platform. I can clearly see this in some of our barbecue boards and landscaping boards, where if you go into the detailed analytics, you can actually see a closer to 50% mix of males and females. So although Pinterest in the past had been largely skewed towards the female demographic, that is rapidly changing. Remember, great brands understand their customers and the kind of content they crave and inspire towards. Pinterest has grown exponentially in popularity among mobile users, and it's now the second largest search engine that Google doesn't own. Some will call it a social media site, some will say no, it's a social search engine. In reality, it's both. We are seeing the merger of social and search, not just on Pinterest, but on Google, YouTube, and Facebook. The question is, can Google and Pinterest become Facebook before Facebook can become them? It's the classic Netflix, HBO battle in another domain. What most people are missing is that we are living in the absolute best time that there has ever been to be an entrepreneur. A time where anyone can have access to the most powerful marketing tools on the planet. A time where Jacques from the Bay can compete with the massive retailers. And Jacques, he can also compete from any nook or cranny on the planet, as long as there's a high-speed internet connection. To build the same type of website I've built around Maritime Vintage over the last couple of months would have cost me approximately $1.2 million in labor and consulting fees back in 1995. I know, I was there, I built them back in the day. But over the last couple of months, for under $100, I've built the same type of website, fully integrated payment systems, logic, integrated with all of the social media hubs and so forth. So the barriers for entry are very, very low. So once again, we live in the absolute best time, very low barriers for entry if you want to be an entrepreneur. So take advantage of it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to see more great social marketing videos like this one, subscribe to our channel below, as we'll have a new video every week that deals with marketing topics in the social media age. I'm Duncan Gillis from Maritime Vintage Land, saying good night, stay safe, and watch out for those Cape Breton mountain chickens. I can only dream of having a home decor project that good.